First question, see the following figure and identify A, B, C, D and E respectively. So here A, this part is stigma. The stigma is specially adapted portion of the pistil modified for the reception of pollen. It may be feathery and branched or elongated, as in such wind-pollinated flowers as those of the grasses, or it may be compact and heavy, a sticky surface. Now this B, this part, is an anther, the part of stamen where pollen is produced. Now this C, the C region, it's a male gametophyte. Pollen grain represent the highly reduced haploid male gametophyte generation in flowering plants, consisting of just 2 or 3 cells when released from the anthers. Their role is to deliver twin sperm cells to the embryo sac to undergo fusion with the egg and the central cell. Now if you look at this part B, this part is an egg. Ovule, the structure in seed plants that develop into a seed after fertilization. It consists of 1 or 2 integuments forming into outer layers, the nucleus and the female gametophyte. And the last, this part E. This is female gametophyte. The female gametophyte, also referred to as embryo sac or megametophyte, develops within the ovule, which in turn is embedded within the ovary of the carpel. So the correct answer for this, A, stigma, is there in all the options. B, anther, is also there in all the options. Then C, male gametophyte, it's there in option B and D. Then D, that is egg. It's not a fertilized egg, it's only egg. So correct answer is option D, that is stigma, anther, male gametophyte, egg and female gametophyte. Looking towards the next question. Match the following ovular structure with post-fertilization structure and select the correct alternative. So the integumented megasporangium, within which meiosis and megaspore formation takes place, is known as ovule. It develops in a seed fertilization. Funicle is, okay, so first ovule, that is A, it is the seed part, that is third option. Then B, that is funicle, is the stalk-like structure. It attaches the ovule to the placenta. It acts as umbilical cord in plant. After fertilization, it is transformed into aril, which is stalk of the seed. So it's 2. Then the mass of parenchymatous tissue, which is surrounded by integuments, is known as nucleus. It encloses embryo sac and provides nourishment to developing embryo. It is generally used up during the development of embryo, but sometimes remain outside the endosperm in the form of a thin layer. This thin layer is known as perisperm. So nucleus pairs with perisperm. And the D, that is polar nuclei. During the triple fusion in double fertilization, the other male gamete moves towards the 2 polar nuclei towards the central cell and fuses with them to produce a triploid primary endosperm nucleus, which is generally called as endosperm. So that is D polar nuclei with 1 endosperm. So let's look at the correct pair, that is the first 3. So it's there in option C and D. Then 2. So it's also there in C and D. Then we have 4. It's there only in option C, that is 4 and 1. So correct answer for this question is option C. Looking towards the next question, that is the arrangement of the nuclei in a normal embryo sac in the dicot plants is. So in angiosperms, the polygonum type of embryo sac is most common. In this embryo sac, the arrangement of the nuclei is 3 plus 2 plus 3. This 3 in antipodal cells, 2 as polar nuclei, and 3 in egg apparatus. So the correct answer for this question is 3 plus 2 plus 3, that is option B. Looking towards the next question, that is choose the right option in which all the alphabets A, B, C, D and E are correctly identified. Now looking at the figure carefully, we can see that A is antipodal cell. Here, look carefully here inside this. So this is antipodal cells. The 3 haploid cell in the mature embryo sac of flowering plants that are situated at the opposite end of this micropyle, the opposite end. Now this B, okay, this B is a secondary nucleus. Okay, so the secondary nucleus is a diploid nucleus formed by the fusion of 2 polar nuclei. It is also called the primary endosperm nucleus, this part. Now the C here at the top. The C is stigma. The stigma is specially adapted portion of the pistil modified for the reception of pollen. It may be feathery and branched or elongated, as in such wind-pollinated flower as those of the grasses, or it may be compact and have sticky surface. Then look at D, this part. This is style. The style is a structure found within the flower. It is a long cylinder stalk that connects the stigma and the ovary. The stigma is at the top of the style, here at the top, and a sticky platform where pollen is deposited. Now this E, this part, this region. This region is called as chalaza. In plant ovule, the chalaza is located opposite of the micropyle. Micropyle is here. The opposite of the micropyle is chalaza. Or opposite to the micropyle opening of the integuments, it is the tissue where integuments and nucellus are joined. Now looking towards the option where we have A as antipodal. So in all the options we have A antipodal and B secondary. Now look at C sigma we want. So C stigma is there in option B and in option D. Then D we want style. So it's there only in option D, and then E chalaza. So the correct answer for this question is option D. Looking towards the last question, that is the formation of gametophyte directly from sporophyte without meiosis is. So the formation of gametophyte directly from sporophyte without meiosis and spore formation is apospory. The gametophyte has a diploid number of chromosomes. Such gametophyte may form viable gametes, which fuse to form tetraploid sporophyte. Apogamy is the development of sporophyte directly from gametophytic tissue without fusion of gametes. Then amphimixis is normal sexual reproduction, and parthenogenesis is the development of an embryo from an egg without fertilization. So the correct answer for this question is apospory.